Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to FS2024 and welcome to Central Wisconsin, where we are currently experiencing a, we'll call it moderate winter weather advisory. We're currently under a winter storm watch, and I thought, what a perfect time to fly virtual aircraft in some of the worst real-world weather icing conditions that you probably have. And we're going to look at native icing in the sim. We've got obviously the Pilatus PC-12 in front of us, and we're already accumulating some ice on board. We're going to go ahead and just do a quick overview of a few different aircraft, see how their icing accumulation does occur over time, and see how the sim handles real-world icing. I've heard it's improved compared to previous, well, the previous Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. So we'll go ahead, hop in the PC-12 here. I'll go ahead and get it started off camera, and then we'll taxi out to the active and see what ice we pick up along the way. Okay, I let the aircraft sit for a couple minutes simulating a walk-around pre-flight, excuse me. And then we started the aircraft, obviously, and you can already see we've got more accumulation than we did previously. Let's go ahead and taxi on out here. Got the prop RPM set to low. Just going to go ahead and casually knock this lady over with our wing leading edge. Very nice, thank you. And I will say one thing I already noticed is if you look in the center of my prop arc here, this little solid brick of, oh, I'm not paying attention to where I'm going. This little solid brick of ice. I'm not really sure what's going on with that. Oh, and it got worse as I pan the camera. Prop ice protection on. Yep, that did it. That did it. Everything else I do have off right now for ice protection. I have my window heat off, pitot heat off. Obviously our de-icing boots are off. I do have the inertial separator open. That's part of the normal checklist for the aircraft. And we obviously just turned on the prop ice protection. But we're definitely starting to accumulate icing. It does appear we're building up a good amount of ice on that forward cow. You can really see that prop effect. It's propeller blades. That's what it is. It's propeller blades with ice on them. Not really sure what that's about. Alright, we're on a good track here. Let's go ahead and turn off pitot heat. Still waiting for ice to accumulate on the wind. Oh, there's a little bit if you look in the corners there. You can kind of just sort of see it starting to form on the outside there. They do get much worse than this. I was flying earlier. I noticed that. Just watching the leading edges, both the horizontal stabilizer on the back here, as well as the leading edge of our wings. Bringing ice. Reduction. I'm not seeing any animation or any reduction in ice. They are on. Probes are off. We are still indicating changes in airspeed. If I throttle up, you'll see our airspeed increase. And if I throttle back down, you'll see it come back down. Still no change on the leading edges. Right in the thick soup of it, you can see some more ice accumulating on the windscreen there. Let's see if there's differential heating. I'm going to turn our windscreen, left-hand side, to heavy ice protection. And we'll see if just our right side got that popping. I don't know what's going on with the LED in this game. Mine's cranked right on up, and it just does not render right away. Anyway, right side heating is on now. Left side, rather, excuse me, heating is on. So we'll see if we get a differentiation on the left side versus the right side windscreen. Still nothing on those de-ice boots. Horizontal stabilizer looks clean, but I think that was residual. Let's toggle 3 minutes. I don't know exactly how the de-ice system on the PC-12 works, but my general familiarity with the icing systems is as soon as you toggle them on, they actuate. And then based on the time interval that you set, in the case of this PC-12, 1 minute or 3 minutes, the aircraft will then wait that amount of time before cycling the de-ice boots. Alright, turn back around now towards that nasty thick soup. You can still see that ice on the edge of our window on the front. Rear's looking mostly okay. We're climbing out of icing now, so no effect on the probe. Maybe it takes a little bit longer, I'm not really sure. It's 4,500, let's keep climbing. And it looks like if you have either window heat on, it clears up both windscreens, because you can now see I've got a mostly clear left and right side. There's a little bit on the corner panes, but nothing too heavy. Let's turn those back off. All in all, I'm marginally okay with the PC-12. There's obviously icing animations, they're just not consistent. I don't understand why these cowl doors over the engines accumulate so much more ice than areas in front of or just behind those cowl doors. I think they should be a little more uniform, like the front part of the nacelle here. I like this icing effect on the vertical stabilizer, that's good, I love that. You can see we got just a little bit of ice on our left-hand windscreen there. Alright, here we are back at Oshkosh. There's the Oshkosh water tower. I'm going to try to one-shot this here. I think I'm a little bit north of the field, actually, based on that water tower. See, we're almost getting like X-Plane 10 style effects with our snow rain mix. There's the airport. You can see it on the synthetic vision. There's runway 1836 off the nose now. And we're going to come in for a very short, very aggressive final to runway 27. Quick look outside of the aircraft. Not much has really changed. It is wet now, the aircraft. That's about it. Alright, so we're about midpoint of runway 27 now. We're definitely going to be relying on beta to get us in. Definitely do not recommend this in the best of conditions, let alone the oh, look at us, dragon tip. I was gonna say in the best of conditions, let alone severe IFR like we're in right now. I mean, I don't recommend flying like this, period, but alright, touching down past the threshold of runway 9, straight into beta. Hard into beta, a little bit of brakes. No problem at all for the PC-12. One final look at the icing on this aircraft. Let's move on to the next one. Alright, moving on from turboprops to turbofans of the high bypass variety, we have the 737 MAX 8. Same weather conditions as before. You can see we're already accumulating just a little bit of icing on the nose, and I believe that inboard leading edge as well. If we do need it, I did enable developer mode. You can see we're slowly increasing our icing rate here, so the aircraft will accumulate ice as we fly. If we look at the weather radar on board, we do have just a little bit of weather ahead of us. Most of it's actually going to be behind us. We're currently facing to the north. It's mostly off to the west and southwest. So let's go ahead and take off in the 7-3. I do have everything except window heat on. I take that back. I have just pitot heat at the park brake. I do want to point out that little bit of smudgy stuff there and here is not ice. It is just like schmutz or something from the aircraft as default. But you can see our little spot on the nose is getting bigger. Not really seeing icing picking up anywhere else. Looks like the precip actually might have died down a little bit, which is unfortunate. If we need to, we will divert back to the developer mode just to get an idea of what icing actually looks like. Looks like there is a nice yellow band of precip there to the southeast of us, actually. I think the sim's just a little bit behind compared to the real world weather, which would make sense. Alright, roughly 10-ish nautical miles later, you see we've got some good ice accumulation on the engine nacelle, both left and right side. That nose icing is increasing. We're also seeing a little bit of ice forming around the windscreen, which is unfortunate. Excuse me while I have a CFIT here. For those of you uninitiated, CFIT is an acronym for Controlled Flight into Terrain. Usually it's for mountains, not people not paying attention. Anyway, I have the left engine anti-ice on, as well as the left window heat. Excuse me. So seeing that ice accumulate on our left-hand side windscreen is a little bit disappointing. If we go and check the developer mode, you can see our icing factor is still increasing, which would make sense for the conditions that we're seeing today. Just starting to see the beginnings of that ice on the windscreen. So let's go ahead and turn on all of our anti-icing wing and engines as well. All right, in about 10-ish minutes later, we burst through the major cloud cover. There's still a little bit of high tops around us, but you can see we are still maintaining our ice on the aircraft despite having all of our anti-icing equipment on. It looks almost as though the inboard wings are modeling de-icing correctly, whereas the outboard, let's go over here, whereas the outboard sections are not. Nonetheless, I think that ice does look pretty good. This is all naturally accumulated ice. Again, I did not use the developer mode to increase this. I am now going to go into developer mode. You can see we're almost actually maxed out. We just started falling back down before we were increasing, coming through that cloud there. Do we have any other clouds up ahead? Yeah, let's steer for this guy here. Just keep an eye on that number as we fly through. This is all naturally done here. This is not me manipulating it. In fact, I'll take my mouse off of that window entirely. You should see that number slowly start to creep back up. There it goes. 6, 7, 8, 9, 7. Yeah, so. And it should start ticking back down again, which it did. A lot of ice on board. You can see we're borderline struggling to maintain altitude with the amount of ice we have on board here. Start a dive, and then pay attention to visuals here as I manually actuate our ice upwards. So there's 100% icing on the aircraft. As you can see, the windshield's almost fully frosted over. Big, huge amounts of ice on the nose. And yeah, looks like that inboard portion right here and here is not modeled for ice. I would expect to see, like in real bad icing with no anti-ice, I would, just like it is here, actually expect to see it creep really far past the wings. That's a little bit disappointing, but it's okay. As far as the windscreen, yeah, you can definitely tell that we're iced up a little bit here. You can see it on all 6 of my windows. It's not just cloud cover, that is ice as well. Alright, we'll move on to something else next. Maybe something without any anti-ice, and we'll see how unflyable it becomes in these conditions. I want to see if a aircraft that has no anti-icing capability whatsoever, in fact, I don't even see, there is no pitot heater unless it's underneath this tablet that I can't remove. It's not. So let's yeah, I've got carb heat and cabin heat. Let's definitely turn that on. If I do a quick check, you can see we're visually already accumulating just a little bit of ice on the leading edges. If I Go back into my dev mode, you can see there's that number ticking up there slowly as we do fly on. Let's do a STOL style takeoff if we can. Airplane's a little bit heavy today. Certainly nothing we can't manage. Alright, here we are, airborne. Prop RPM's already having a hard time getting up. Probably doesn't help that the oil temp is cold. We'll do one pattern naturally here because I don't think icing would accumulate quickly enough to where one pattern would cause you any severe issues. And then we'll crank it up to maximum icing. So we'll just do a quick turnaround here. Coming over Highway 41. See a little bit of ice on the engine cowl as well as on our windscreen. Come on, settle in. Hard touch. Alright, we'll get a little bit of altitude this time around. Definitely starting to accumulate what I would call moderate to heavy icing. Not in the severe category yet. While we climb out here, you can definitely hear our engine starting to struggle. Let's check dev mode. Yeah, we're not even a third of the way up the tree here for icing. I wouldn't want to fly an aircraft with this much icing without anti-icing capabilities, but probably could if you absolutely needed to. Back inside. Yeah, we're not even really crossing the flap arc. Now back outside. Maximum icing. You can see we're completely frozen over on the leading edges there. Absolute worst case scenario for icing. I mean, we're not falling out of the sky. Performance is definitely hampered, but it's nothing that we can't deal with. Cannot see out of my windscreen though, so that's a bit of a problem. It's just that little hole in the middle. Oh, and the engine is not performing well. My gosh. Okay. Stand by. Carb heat on max. Let's get as much heat into the carb as we can. Barely missed that power line. And let's pull carb heat out to get some RPMs back. Not really getting much. Okay, that's fine. We can manage this. On icing, there's Pioneer. Checking my speeds just inside of the flap arc here. Let's power back just a little bit. On landing, carb heat can go off. Oh man, that's hard to see out of. That's really hard to see out of. Oh, their pitot tube's frozen. It's completely frozen over. AOA vane still works, but the pitot tube is completely frozen over. We're locked in at 70 knots right now, which is realistic. That's what I was trying to do on the PC-12. So, icing in the sim, I'd say fairly well modeled. I still would like to see a little bit more liberal use of the icing in the sim, but we get what we get, and it is what it is. So I think that'll do it for this video. I don't know, just wanted to explore ice. I had to deal with it in real life today, so figured why not continue and deal with it in the virtual world. So I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you very much for watching this one. I do dearly appreciate it. And as always, take it easy.